Hey guys, welcome back to The Binger. It's summertime and living is easy, as long as you've got a decent amount of movies to watch, that is. We've lovingly prepared a list of must-watch flicks that are perfect to Netflix and chill to. All you have to do is hit play, playa.
How would you feel about growing a beard?
With so many movies to choose from on Netflix, it can be hard to know where to start. Stop browsing and get watching. We've picked out the best movies for you to Netflix and chill to this summer, from sci-fis to rom-coms. If you love the occasional sci-fi thriller, then look no further. I Am Mother is a new kid on the block hailing from Sundance Festival. It didn't take long for Netflix to snap it up, and be thankful they did. The movie stars Hilary Swank as Rose Byrne, so it has some much-needed star power to it. It goes beyond the usual bounds of what you would expect from a sci-fi movie. It's not all aliens and shoot-'em-ups, but a complex tale. Taking place after an extinction event, a bunker that's designed to repopulate humanity activates. It already sounds interesting, doesn't it? Full of nail-biting moments and twists, the tale was well received by a majority of critics. I Am Mother holds an impressive rating of 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. The consensus reads, quote, suspenseful, well-acted, and intelligent, before going on to call it, quote, an ambitious story that achieves its impressive aims. For a genre that can be really hit or miss, this outing is on the mark. It can be difficult to come up with something original when it feels like we've seen it all, but Michael Lloyd Green's brainchild is captivating and entertaining. What more could you want? Since Friends finished way back in 2004, Jennifer Aniston has gone from strength to strength. Arguably the most successful of the cast, the actress found her niche in the comedy market and has largely stuck to it. That's not to say that she can't wrap a dramatic scene around her little finger. 2014's Cake proved that. Now Jen is back with a new movie, and it's a Netflix original. Who better to star with her than the king of slapstick comedy himself, Adam Sandler? The A-list celebs first paired up back in 2011 for Just Go With It. You might be grimacing at the thought of another man-child with a heart feature, but hold that thought, it's actually pretty good. Instead of playing his usual role of the slightly moronic, immature goon, Sandler is a regular guy. In fact, it's Jen who plays the bored wife.
It's been 15 years, Nick. I don't know what we're waiting for.
Considering Murder Mystery had little to no marketing in the lead up to its release, it did incredibly well. 13 million Americans devoured the movie in a few days, pushing it to the top of the ratings list. Aniston and Sandler play a couple that gets caught up in an Agatha Christie-style plot. When someone gets offed, the blame is put on them. In theory, it should be a tired, boring retelling of something we've all seen before. In reality, it's a gem of a comedy that proves you can teach an old dog new tricks after all. What do you get when you mix up a fierce comedian with the title of a 1995 Mariah Carey song? The answer is a rom-com called Always Be My Maybe. Written by Ali Wong, Randall Park, and Michael Galamko, it starts with a simple story. Wong and Park play two childhood friends who become romantically entangled. When things end badly, they go their separate ways only to reunite 15 years in the future. By this point in their lives, they couldn't be more opposite. Wong's character, Sasha, is a high-flying celebrity chef, while Park's Marcus still lives at home and works with his dad. They're polar opposites in every which way, but the spark between them is undeniable. If it had been penned by anyone other than these three geniuses, this could have stunk.
Like if I had to fart, I'd have to go to a completely different room of the house.
The world doesn't need another cookie-cutter will-they-won't-they movie, and thankfully this isn't that. It's cleverly structured with a fantastic script that allows it to shine in a unique way. Critics loved it, so who are we to argue? There seems to be a huge market for child-led casts these days. Of course, there are the classics that paved the way, like Stand By Me and even Robin Williams' Jack. This simmered down over the years, but once Stranger Things was released in 2016, an onus was put on finding talented young upstarts. Rim of the World is a modern reworking of the 80s movie of the same name. The movie brings together four teens. They're all completely different, bringing about a certain level of conflict as they spend the summer at camp. It's not your average coming-of-age tale. There are less s'mores and more alien attacks. With the fate of the world lying in their chubby little hands, they set about tackling the invasion with what little they have. If you're looking for some idle brain food that you don't have to overly invest in to like, then this movie is for you. 99 minutes of your life for a few giggles and an upbeat vibe sounds like a decent exchange to us. It's a little difficult for Game of Thrones fans to accept that Maisie Williams is actually a fully grown woman now. The 22-year-old landed the role of Arya Stark when she was just 14 years old, but she's always looked young. That might be a little bit of an annoyance at times, but her fresh-faced appearance helped her land the role of Skye. Then Came You focuses on an outgoing teen who doesn't have long to live. It's a touching story, but not for the faint-hearted. If you're easily triggered by inevitable trauma, then you might want to pick another movie to chill to. However, if you're a glutton for that sweet sense of fulfillment that comes with an emotional beating, Then Came You is a perfect choice. Williams pairs up with Asa Butterfield, who plays the role of Calvin. The teens bond after meeting at a cancer support group, but it's not as fault in your stars as you might think. In fact, it couldn't be further from it. It's a splendid way for Williams to spread her acting wings after GOT. In fact, it's worth the watch just to see how versatile she can be. There's nothing quite like a movie that hails from a true story, or at least partially true. The 2018 American psychological horror Cam is written by former cam girl Issa Mazei. If you think about it, cam girls probably stumble across all sorts of horrific things, so it makes total sense. It's just surprising that it's taken someone this long to make a movie out of it. Starring The Handmaid's Tale's Madeline Brewer, the story centers around a gal called Alice. She works under the name Lola, broadcasting live shows, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Alice soon becomes obsessed with her ranking on the site and will do anything to get that #1 spot. Cam doesn't go down that seedy route that could have been so readily available to it. Instead, it's a crafted tale that takes some totally unexpected twists and turns. At some points, you'll be scratching your head and wondering how on earth it works, but therein lies the charm, friend. 28-year-old Brewer's star is undoubtedly on the rise thanks to the gritty roles that she's taking. It'll be interesting to see where she goes next. Black Mirror as a TV series already has an incredibly large following, so it was only a matter of time before a movie was released. Designed to be part of the series but also stand on its own, Bandersnatch ticks all the boxes. Viewers are made part of the process as they're asked to make decisions for the main character, Finn.
What you want for your breakfast?
The computer programmer is busy creating a video game from a novel in the mid-'80s. The concept doesn't do much for casual viewers, as it's too complex to follow half-heartedly. Serious film buffs will enjoy the experience as they watch Finn's personality change as he develops the game. As with most Black Mirror tales, Bandersnatch has an element of darkness that can't be ignored. There's a tragic backstory, some hallucinogens, some allusion to alternate realities, and a mental breakdown. Honestly, what else would you expect from a Black Mirror narrative? An intense amount of time went into creating the script, which shows. Series creator Charlie Booker put pen to paper, but it's not easy writing an interactive feature.
So who's it gonna be?
Overall, it's a totally immersive experience that heralds a new trend in movie making. Set It Up is for all the guys and dolls that have ever worked a thankless job for a terrible boss. Lighthearted fun is its game with a side of romance. Taye Diggs and Lucy Liu play two highly strung bosses with long-suffering assistants. Harper, Zoe Deutsch, and Charlie, Glenn Powell, try to find a way to make their bosses nicer. After a chance encounter, the inventive 20-somethings set their bosses up, sit back, and watch the sparks fly. Of course, nothing is ever quite as simple as it seems. What's a movie without a good helping of conflict? While the plot is entertaining and the part of a harsh executive was made for Lucy Liu, it's Deutsch and Powell that steal the show. Both actors are relatively new to the game, but show impressive promise throughout. Charlie and Harper come across as relatable, and you're rooting for them from the very beginning. That's not always an easy feat in rom-com movies. They can hover on the precipice of irritating and vapid if they're not done properly. If you're wondering why or how Noah Centineo became the thirst trap of teen girls everywhere, then you've just found the answer. To All the Boys I've Loved Before marked the start of a movement that capitulated Centineo to new heights of fame. Based on Jenny Han's 2014 novel of the same name, the movie did incredibly well. You don't have to be a teen yourself to get into it either, which helps. Lana Condor plays the main role of Lara, who writes letters to all of the boys that she's felt attracted to. Rather than sending them off, they're purely an outlet for her frustrations, and she keeps them buried in a closet. It doesn't take long for the letters to reach their recipients against Lara's wishes. That's when all hell breaks loose. To All the Boys I've Loved Before breaks the mold of soppy teen romance dramas, injecting a hearty dose of humor into the mix. It's also a little teary at parts, and we're not afraid to admit it. Whether you're a guy or a girl, we defy you to watch this and not feel all the warm and fuzzy inside once it's over. It's a tale as old as time, but that didn't stop Disney from remaking it. Beauty and the Beast is a live-action spectacular that's riddled with star power. Emma Watson was a controversial choice for Belle, but she gives it her all. It smashed box office records when it was released, so if that isn't a good enough reason to watch it, then what is? Full of all of the old favorite songs and a couple of new ones that didn't make the animated feature, it's a Disney lover's dream. No expense was spared. This is the House of Mouse, after all, so the production value is off the charts. Bursting with color and great voice performances by the likes of Ewan McGregor, it's a feast for the senses. Beauty and the Beast is essential viewing for those long summer nights with the windows thrown wide open. Just make sure that your neighbors don't hear you belting out "Be Our Guest." They'll probably never let you live it down, and you'll be avoiding them like the plague every time you leave the house. That's not a position anyone wants to be in, trust us. Which one is going to be on your screen tonight? Sound off below. Before you go and grab the popcorn, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.